Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So over the weekend, I was watching this show called The Ultimatum. It's on Netflix. It's the makers of Love is Blind, and I have to tell you, this show is crazy. I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to say too much, but what I will say is that while watching the show, I noticed a lot of things between the couples that was, I guess you can say, lacking, which brings me to the topic that we're going to get into today, actually. And if you haven't watched the show on Netflix, I highly recommend it because it's actually pretty good. I mean, me personally, I can never, but you know. So today I want to talk about a safe space between you and your significant other, family, friends, etc., etc., mostly towards relationships. So what is a safe space? It's basically an environment where you can feel confident expressing yourself and you know nobody's judging you or you're not being criticized. Obviously, a safe space can be more than just in regards to communication. Let's make that clear. But in regards to communication, I'm curious how many of you guys have heard, oh, see, this is why I can't talk to you. I can't tell you anything. That's not what I meant. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells with you. Yeah, you know those sayings that just completely shut you out, shut you down, and you know that you cannot have a communication or a discussion with this person because there's always a problem. And speaking from personal experience, it's literally a sign that you do not have that safe space to talk. Like I said earlier, I want to gear this towards relationships, so that's what we're going to get into today. If you haven't experienced anything like this, thank God, because I wouldn't want anyone to experience it, to be honest. From my personal experience, I used to have an ex who actually would use my own words and questions against me when I would try and communicate with him, making me feel like I didn't have a voice to state my own opinions and feelings or thoughts because it always ended up into an argument. I remember vividly one night with one of my exes how I asked him where he was going because I saw him getting all dressed up that night and whatever. So he told me he was going out with friends. And I said, cool, where are you guys off to? And let me tell you, what came out of that man's mouth was, here we go. I'm not going to do this with you right now. I'm just going to go. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night. Like, what? I'll be honest, at that time, I was so devastated. I had no idea what the I got myself into. I'm like, seriously, I can't even ask a question without it being a problem. Like, that's insane. And just to leave me there guessing until he decided he wanted to talk to me was horrible. Horrible because you're left in the dark trying to figure out where did he actually go and why couldn't he just tell me where he was going? Honestly, I feel like a little light can be brought into a situation like that when there's communication. When you have communication and you're open about shit, it makes everything so much easier for both parties involved. Having a safe space to communicate with your partner is extremely healthy, and you see it in a lot of thriving relationships. Emotional safety is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and a meaningful one at that, because it contributes to the authenticity and vulnerability in that relationship. And personally, I think that it deepens the connection between you and your partner. So what am I talking about when I'm talking about this safe space? I'm talking about a safe space to express yourself authentically and fully. A safe space where you can share something your partner did wrong, any dissatisfaction. A safe space to share your sexual desires or tell them something you didn't like. A safe space where you can share your insecurities, your fears with that person. And ultimately, a safe space where you can actually have a conversation with this person and it not escalate to a full-blown argument. Safe in a sense where there is no name calling, no blaming game, no yelling, no shaming, no exit language, or any kind of rejection. And all of this brings me to my next thing. How do we create a safe space for our partners? Because anytime a relationship is troubled or there's a problem in the relationship, we automatically as humans go in go mode and want to fix the problem. And therefore, we think of it as we've got to heal the relationship instead of taking a step back and thinking, maybe I got to heal myself. So let's get into some of the things that we can do to create a safe space for our partners and get into why sometimes some things can damage that safe space for us or our partners. So the first thing is your words and actions. You need to be consistent, because if you didn't know, when your actions and your words match, you build trust because you already know what's coming, because these things are aligning. If your words and actions don't match, obviously your partner is going to see you as inconsistent, which makes it harder for them to trust you. It's all a chain reaction. And if you're constantly being inconsistent, it shows your partner that they can't trust you, and why the hell would they? Inconsistency and unpredictability causes people to constantly be on guard, which causes anxiety, stress. And once you start feeling those things, that person will automatically start to feel unsafe. So I think to make it a safe space, follow through with your words, because when you're consistent, it relays a message that you can be trusted, because ultimately you're going to do what you said you were going to do. Another one is body language. And with this, what I mean is body language can be a great deal in creating a safe space as well. Body language matters just as much, if not more, because I don't know if you notice, but sometimes communication is nonverbal with body language. People can be super expressive with their body language. And I feel like damage is usually done when body language shows that you want nothing to do with them. That means turning your back on them, rolling your eyes, walking away from them, or even having a tense facial expression when they're talking to you. I think in order to fix this, you would have to turn over toward your partner, talk to them, hold their hand, put your hand on their thigh, physical touch. Let them know that you're there for them. Make good eye contact as well. Show them that you're giving them attention and that you are listening. Here's a big one. Listen non-defensively. And what I mean by this is listen to actually understand. Understand the emotions, the feelings that are coming up from your partner, and validate them. And from personal experience, validating your partner is the least that you can do. Because usually when people don't want to share the root of a problem, it's because they're scared of being misunderstood, or they're scared of being dismissed. Because if you want your partner to open up to you, you have to create that safe space for them in order to do that. And a lot of the times, I don't understand why it's so hard to see when someone doesn't want to express themselves. It means damage has been done. Something was done prior to let that person bottle up whatever they're feeling to not want to express themselves. A lot of the times when someone feels like they can't express themselves, it's because damage has already been done. And from personal experience, it probably happened because the other person got defensive, or they didn't validate your feelings and told you, oh, there's no reason why you should be feeling that way. They either dismissed the feelings, make invalidating comments, or change the subject completely. I feel like to create the safe space in this situation, you need to validate their feelings and show that you empathize with them and you understand where they're coming from. And listening to them non-judgmentally is major, because you're showing that you're not making it about yourself and you've got nothing to hide. You're there for them. The main thing is to just try and focus on your partner's feelings and try to understand them and validate them. Another one that I see a big issue is the exit language when it comes to creating a safe space for you and your partner. And what I mean by exit language is when they completely shut you out, or they tell you, I don't think I want to do this relationship no more, we should break up. They withdraw from you emotionally and they give attention to other people. And once again, from personal experience, when someone is telling you, oh, we might as well break up, or we shouldn't be in this relationship together, it really makes you feel unsafe, unwanted. And from personal experience, when you say these things to someone, you make them feel unsafe and insecure, and it triggers fears and no trust. So if you want to create that safe space, you need to remind your partner that you guys are in this together. Using the word we actually is more reassuring because it reinforces the fact that you guys are doing this together and that you're committed to your partner. It'll start to feel like more of a safe space when you guys have a conversation in regards to any hopes and goals for the relationship. Because when you let your partner know that you're committed to them and that you guys are in it together, it shows them that you're willing to work on the relationship and that they're not alone. My final thing here would be thanking your partner to create that safe space. Why I say this is because whenever a partner shares with you any type of feeling or something that bothers them, you have to understand that they're being vulnerable with you. No matter how it made you feel, or if you don't agree with them, thanking them really helps them, and it creates a safe space because you're thanking them for allowing them to trust you in telling you whatever they want to tell you. So thanking them for trusting you and being vulnerable with you is a big thing, because it doesn't matter if you guys see eye to eye or not. What really matters is the situation at hand, which is that you guys are having trust within one another and that partner is having trust within you to have whatever kind of conversation it is that they want to have with you. I think where the damage gets done here is when your partner doesn't acknowledge that you are being vulnerable with them, or when the other person has the courage to come up to the partner and talk about something and that person is being dismissive with them. And from firsthand experience, being dismissed when you want to talk about something is the worst feeling ever. Like I said, one of my exes literally did probably everything I've just talked about to me. Especially when it came to harder topics, he never gave me that safe space to feel like it's okay to talk about this and it's okay to feel what I was feeling. I never felt okay to be vulnerable with him because he didn't allow that. It was always either an argument or it blew up into an argument, or I was called crazy for my feelings or what I was thinking. I feel like when you acknowledge that being vulnerable is never easy and thanking them for trusting you enough to share their feelings with you, it encourages them to be more open with you. Develops more of a trust between you guys. So prior to this ex that I was with for a long time, quick story, I dated somebody else after that for a few months, and I have to say, I am so grateful for that guy because he created a safe space for me. He allowed me to find my voice again. Because when you don't have a safe space, you ultimately lose it. He encouraged it so much. Like, if he knew I was annoyed, he would tell me, how will I know that you're annoyed? How will I know what bothered you if you're not going to open up and tell me? And I gotta be honest, he was right. He created this safe space for me and he wanted to know what was going on in my head. He wouldn't allow me to just go on like that, feeling pissed off or mad about something unless I told him what was up. That safe space meant everything to me because it showed me I could confide in him and I could tell him things. Granted, we're not together today, but I am grateful for him because my ass now will say it how I want it, when I want it. I just don't care. I want to have a relationship, at least in my next relationship, I want that safe space. I want to be able to still have my voice and keep that. I don't want nobody taking it from me. I don't want no one to be dismissive with me because you really lose your voice. And I lost my voice. I was in that relationship for over 5 years. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode this week, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!